In 1962, during one of the most turbulent years in Cuban history, Fidel Castro was deeply involved in consolidating power and preparing for what would become known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. The country was under immense pressure from the outside world, but inside, Castro was also focused on building a new system, one that promised healthcare, education, and justice for all Cubans. It was during this time that an unlikely story unfolded in the city of Santiago de Cuba. A 6-year-old boy named Luis Fernandez had been playing near the docks when he fell into the water and disappeared beneath the surface. His mother screamed, people ran to the edge, but no one dared jump in. The current was strong, and the water was icy. Castro happened to be visiting the area that day. He was in plain clothes, without his usual entourage or bodyguards. When he heard the commotion, he rushed toward the crowd. "What happened?" he asked. "A child, he fell in," someone shouted. Without hesitation, Castro pulled off his jacket and dove into the freezing water. What followed was not the act of a politician, but of a man who still remembered his youth as a swimmer and athlete. Witnesses later described how Castro swam with powerful strokes, scanning the water until he spotted the boy struggling underwater. He reached him just as Luis was losing consciousness. With great effort, Castro dragged the boy back to the dock and handed him over to waiting hands. Paramedics quickly began resuscitation efforts. For a moment, it looked like the worst had happened. Then, after what felt like an eternity, Luis coughed and opened his eyes. The crowd erupted into cheers. His mother collapsed in tears of relief. Later, at the local clinic where the boy was taken for observation, Castro sat beside him for nearly an hour. He held his hand, told him jokes, and made sure he wasn't scared. "You're brave," Castro said. "And you've got a lot more life to live." Luis recovered fully. His story became local legend, how the leader of a nation had risked everything to pull him from the water. Years later, as a grown man, Luis recalled, "I don't remember much about that day, just a big hand holding mine, and a voice telling me I was going to be okay. That voice belonged to Fidel Castro. And because of him, I grew up." For many, Castro was a symbol of revolution and defiance. But for Luis, he was something else entirely, a man who saw a child in danger and didn't hesitate to act. Even in times of political storms, Castro never forgot the human side of leadership.